Hello everyone, welcome back to Bumble Stitches. My name's Nicola and today is Monday the 27th of May. It's a bank holiday here in the UK and it's Memorial Day over in the US, so I hope you're all having a lovely long weekend and that you had a bit of time to spend doing what you love. This is Flosstube episode, just checking, number 49, and it's been a little while since I was here. I think it was back on the 14th of April, something like that. But, and I had a bit of a heart-to-heart with you in that last episode. And to be honest with you, I wasn't prepared for the outpouring of support and love and friendship that you have all shown me in the comments on that last video. I was having a bit of a wobble, a lot of self-doubt, a little bit of imposter syndrome. But you have completely lifted me up, and just the community has done its magic. The Flosstube community, I think, is a very special place, and I felt very supported by you all. So all I can say is thank you. Thank you so much. It really meant the world to me. So I am back with another video. Quite a few things have been happening since I saw you last. It's been very, very busy times at work, so I've not had much time for my beloved lunchtime car stitching. I've just managed to put a few stitches on my project that I was working on in the car, but I have done some other things. I've been quite monogamous for me, which is a little bit unusual. I've managed to go to a couple of crafty shops in person, which was very exciting. Had a bit of a haircut, as you can see, chopped off some of the hair. I did a bit of a tweak with the GHDs this morning, but I'm not quite sure that's worked out very well. But nonetheless, here I am, and I'm ready to share with you what I've been stitching on. I've got a couple of fully finishes. I've got some, how many finishes have I got? One finish, but it's a finish that I'm very proud of because it's been a long time coming. I've got lots of plans, a little bit of haul, and quite a few quilty things to talk to you about as well. So without further ado, I shall start off the video properly by sharing with you a couple of FFOs, and you will be you'll remember, if you saw the last video, that I finished off my Harrietta & Co by Brenda Gervais, and here she is, all finished, fully finished. And isn't she a pretty girl? She's very late for Easter, but we're not worried about that. She's still been sitting in the dough bowl in my craft room. And as you can see, by the way, we are back in the conservatory because it's such a nice, well, the sun's gone in now, but it has been a really nice day. So I thought we'd have a little bit of natural light today. So here's Harrietta, all completely finished. I stitched some Lady Dot Creates rickrack all the way around the edge there, and found the perfect fabric for the back, which is one of the Lori Holt ginghams, which I think was absolutely crying out to match Harrietta's little pinafore dress. So really, really happy to have got her finally finished, and this has just reaffirmed what I already know. Brenda Gervais designs are my absolute favourite, they really are. So yep, she's here, she's staying out for a while, she's not going away. She's going to stay and keep me company in my craft room for a while because she deserves it. So that one's done. Another little finish that I did, I'm not 100% delighted with my finishing on this. I tried something different. It didn't go quite as well as I expected it to. I had high hopes. But anyway, it's the Lori Holt Granny Square, which is a freebie from Fat Quarter Shop. And I wanted to have a go at making a mattress pincushion. So I've used Lori Holt, I think this is Granny Chic on the back and one of the basics on the top. And yeah, my attempt at a mattress style pincushion isn't fabulous at the corners. And after I'd made this, I did see a tutorial that was much better way of sort of boxing out those corners. So I will have another go, but I attempted to sort of bring the bottom in sort of so that it's squidged down with a button on the front and a button on the back. But it's a nice big, you can see it's a nice big fat pincushion. And it's a really useful one for when I'm sewing. So it's at least another FFO and not just a lingering whip. Now on to my finishes. And I'm saying finishes, it's one piece of linen, but it's actually 6 finishes. And it's from The Keep of the Pins, again by Brenda Gervais. And as you can see, there are 6 projects in this little book. Lots of people have stitched these. I've adored it since the time it was released, which I think was in 2022. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, lots of gorgeous vintage tomato pincushions, which I would love to find some of those, but I just don't think they are a UK thing. But anyway, I digress. Let me show you. I need to just remove a couple of whips that are underneath on my design board so that I can show you this properly. And here we go. So these are my finishes. Now this linen always has a little bit of a episode when I show it in the natural light. It comes up very dark and mottled, and it isn't that dark and mottled in real life. So here you can see the sewing bird. And I took a little bit of artistic license on his wing. His wing wasn't showing up so much, so I've put some backstitch there on his wing, you know, like a long stitch, just to emphasise that. All the little seed beads are sewn on now to represent the pin heads. And this one here, I can't see now in the camera, this one. And then the little dame of the needle down here, she's got some long stitching over the bobbins, and then coming around to this side an alphabet, and down here this is the one where you stitch a tiny tomato and then fill in the rest of the space with some mother of pearl buttons. So I'm so excited to have finally finished these, because the plan is to have in my sewing room a little display of sewing and tomatoey based sewing things, little smalls, just to get that nice sort of vintage vibe. And I absolutely love these. So I've got quite a lot of finishing to do. I think I've got enough, well hopefully I've got enough space to finish these. I think I have. This is a piece of linen from my friend Paula of Eva Faith. It's a 36 count. I think we decided it was Sycamore, Paula, was it? I can't remember. And yes, of course, Alfie ate the tag. So we've just got a little pin and the tag was on there. But yeah, was in Alf's tummy at some point, so we won't worry about that. So there you go, 6 finishes. I'm really looking forward to getting those fully finished. I do have, I'm sort of getting ahead of myself because this is part of my haul, but I've got a lovely, about 4 yards here, or meters, of a cream rickrack. And I'm going to tea dye this just to make it look a bit vintagey for finishing those. And I need to find a nice backing fabric which will really go with those designs. So that is a nice big finish, and this is what I was mostly monogamous on. I really concentrated on getting this one done, and then obviously once you've finished all the stitching, you've got the beads to sew on and the little bits of back stitching and so on. But well worth it. So let's carefully put that down. I'm a bit conscious of the fact that it does have beads on it, and I had to put a nice couple of thick layers of towel underneath the iron when I was pressing that. Now, carrying on with the tomato theme, and you'll notice the title of the video is Red, White and Blue and Tomatoes. So that's kind of where my head is at the moment. So the next project I've been working on is, this is my hands-on designs, and this is Tomato. Super cute. Again, love the actual tomato most of all on this. I'm not actually sure where I'm going to put the tray. It's the tomato that I really like, but I have started with the tray. And I don't have much of a start on this one. Let me show you. Just a tiny bit there. So just started on that first top band and the leaves of the tomato. I'm using all called for flosses for this one. I think there was one colour, they've got in a bit of a tangle, one colour I had to substitute that wasn't in stock. So instead of, excuse me, instead of, I think it's called Flatfish, I've got Classic Colourworks Stepping Stones, which is working really well. And this is a tag that Alfie hasn't eaten, and this is Paula's linen. Again, this is 32 count in Moonspell, so that's one that I'm keeping safe from Master Alfred. So that's another little tomato project. I'll talk a bit more about tomato projects in a moment. I just wanted to show you another whip that I've been working on, and this one is here. It's been living in my Liberty bag, and this is Blackbird Designs, and it is part of the Magical Mystery Tour Strawberry Fields Forever. Super pretty. And here is my progress so far on this one. I'm using a DMC conversion. I think it's the DMC conversion that's in the chart. Yes, it is. Let me just show you the flosses. So here they are. So quite a dark, sort of dark palette there, but actually coming up really pretty on this linen. And this is another piece of Paula's linen, and I got a bit clever this time because Alfie's very quick to grab the tags, so I've actually pinned it just inside my bag. And this is Catkin, 36 count Catkin, so that's safe in there from little tiny teeth. So I need to get back to that, and I did have a couple of comments from people that were interested in a Magical Mystery Tour stitch along, so perhaps that's something that we can get on board with. But if you are stitching along on these designs, do let me know, because it'll be nice to see if you've got progress on Instagram that I can have a look at. Let's pop that one away. And that is really all I've actually actively been stitching on since I saw you last. There's been a little bit of progress on the prim and proper, which is my cast stitching, but not very much. I just filled in a little bit more of the vase that the flowers are in. But I mentioned that I would talk to you a little bit more about tomatoes. So in my bag from So Be Bags, I've got my tomato projects, and currently at the moment I've got Try to Mark Well from the Scarlet House in there. I've got a tiny start on this, not really much of a start at all. And I do have obviously tomato, so that's my tiny start on Try to Mark Well. But I've got the itch for another Brenda Gervais chart, so I've pulled a couple out just to show you some contenders of things that I might like to start next. So I have here Mice in the Sewing Room. This has been in my stash for absolutely ages. This was a gift from a lovely friend, Jooles from So Sweet Violet, and she's actually been dabbling in a bit of cross stitch herself lately, so do go and have a check out of her video, which is her sewing journal. I'll put a link down in the description box below. And I think she may have started this actual design. I'm not 100% sure, I can't remember, but this is delightful with a little mice and the measuring tape. And I love the way on the bobbin that the thread has been put across over the top of the cross stitches. So that's a very strong contender. I've also got this one, which is I Collect, with the jar of buttons. So that's a strong contender too. Of course, this one, the Pennsylvania Dutch Tomato Pin Keep, which is a very strong contender. I've kitted this one up with some mystery linen. I think it's just a Zweigart. I think it might be summer khaki, and DMC 498. And I chose that shade of DMC because I've got some red velveteen, which is exactly that colour. And just as a side note, again, I'm sort of dipping into what would be in my haul section, but I found a really nice bundle of green felt. It's not 100% wool felt, which is my preference, but it's a really nice quality. This is actually 30% wool and 70% viscose, and there's some lovely greens in here. So I think I'll have just the right green, because it's quite a bright green on the top here, to do the leaves, or certainly one of these greens will work, and also for the tomato. So the green felt is ready. And then finally, as an option for a new tomato start, Queen of the Needle. But I don't think I've got that blue or anything. That's Jaybird by Weeks Dye Works. That blue, really pretty. But I could substitute another blue. Try not to buy too many flosses at the moment, because just trying to use some stash up, but I think I'll probably have the rest of the colours and just have to get the blue, so we'll see. So if you've got a favourite out of those, I'm really drawn to the mice in the sewing room at the moment. I think they're really pretty, and I'm also really drawn to this one. Let me know what you think, and we'll get another tomato project started really soon, because I do really enjoy them. Okay, moving on to some red, white and blue. Now, it's the time of year, isn't it, when people start getting patriotic. Well, I'll preface that by saying people in other countries get patriotic. It's something we're not great at doing here in the UK. If you disagree with me, feel free to let me know, but it's something that we don't tend to do unless there is a big royal occasion or a big sporting occasion or something like that, and then you see the flags come out. Other than that, we are reserved. We don't tend to sort of shout about things like that. And sometimes it's sad to say that when you see people with the flag, you tend to associate them with being a little bit, have political leanings to perhaps the wrong sort of side, to extremes. And I think that's a shame. I think it would be nice if we celebrated our flag and our patriotism in the way that other countries do, and certainly the way that a lot of you lovely viewers in the US do. But in saying that, I'm going to have some fun anyway with my stitching and with my quilting. So let me show you some things that I've got planned, and hopefully there'll be a nice display in time when they're all put together. So just to share with you a couple of little finishes that I've got from last year or the year before. I've got this one for the Jubilee, the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, which I think was a Helen Phillips design. So this sits in my dough bowl, just finished off with the gingham at the back. And this one as well, which I think is by Carol X Stitch on Etsy, the Happy and Glorious, which I love this one. And it works for both, obviously for the Queen, who it was designed for, and also for the King. So I really enjoy that one too. But I have been having a little peep on Etsy to see what I can find. And this is a really fantastic design. This is from Cosford Rise Stitchery, and this is the July basket. And as you can see, it's got all those wonderful shades of blue, and it's the model that is stitched with a Union Jack. But this design comes with 13 different options for flags. And I don't know if they list the countries or if it just shows images. She does list all the countries on her Etsy listing, but there are Ireland, Scotland, I don't know if Wales is on there. Is Wales on there? Can't see Wales. Canada, the United States, Italy. There's quite a few. I can't show because it's actually the chart, but there are lots. There's 13 countries in total that are all included with the chart, so that you can find your country and stitch your own basket design. And obviously you can adapt those flowers. But I've had a little rummage through my stash to find some colours that I think would work. And it was the blues that was giving me problems. So I've got some nice blues in here. I've got a DMC 930, which is this one. I've got Deep Blue Sea by Classic Colourworks, and I've got a Weeks in here, which is Deep Sea. Some nice blues there, but I wanted something a little tiny bit brighter. So I had a look in my Aurifil, and this is 4140, and this is a really nice blue. So I think that palette will work really well, because I think this is more like the blue of those flowers on here. So I just need to find some linen, and that's going to be a new start. I just dropped one of those Aurifils on the floor. And following on from that, I'm going to have to hold this back. I got another design from Etsy, from Ross Clark Craft. And I'm going to hold this back and just flash it up because there's no model as such, it's just the chart. So she's got a series of these Union Jacks. They're really, really good value charts on Etsy, and I think there's like a winter, there's like the seasons, and then this one that's stitching. So I thought that would be fun to do as well, and I'm going to keep those all in my little Union Jack project bag. And then on the other side of the pond, I've got some Americana going on here. Now, I showed you these last time. This is Stars and Stripes by Plum Street and Shakespeare's Peddler, the collaboration. But what I'm homing in on particularly is perhaps the lesser of the three charts, which is the ampersand here in the Stars and Stripes. And I thought that would be a nice link between my UK-based Patriotic stitches and my Americana. So I thought that would be a really nice way to sort of segue those together. And I'm getting a little bit hot now because age. But then I've added a couple of new charts to the lineup. So this one, which I love, which is the Patriotic Quaker by Primrose Cottage. And this is stitched in colour and cotton, but I'm not sure where I can get that. So I think I'll probably substitute some DMC for that. And this other one I found on Etsy, and I have seen Miss Prim on Instagram, but just check this out. And this is Betsy Ross. And I must admit, I didn't know who Betsy Ross was. I fell in love with the design, really liked it. Apparently she is the young lady at the time that sewed the first American flag. If I've got that wrong or anything, please correct me, but I just did a quick Google to find out who she was. But I think she's adorable, and this is a little sort of pillow, a shaped pillow, and she is so cute. So that's one or a couple that I've got planned for that side of things. Now, in my US flag inspired project bag that I made last year from Tilda scraps, I still have my, what have we got here? These Star Spangled ornaments from Fat Quarter Shop, and the flosses that go with those, which are all Classic Colourworks. And actually there is a fabulous red in here, which is ribbon red, and this blue, which is Summer Sky. And I think these, if I just bump the grey out of the way, I think we've got a nice palette here for the Primrose Cottage Quaker. But I did complete a small, there's a piece of Alfie fur on there. I did finish one of those small ones, but I'd like to do a couple more and perhaps make them into little pillows. So those are living in there, and I think there's something else in here. Ah yes, this is from Summer Memories by Susan Ockey. I've got an almost finish on one of the charts from there, and that goes with this finish that I did get done last year. So these will all tie in really, really nicely. So many ideas going in my head. I feel like I miss out if when I see all the wonderful patriotic stuff that Flosstubers and stitchers are doing, I feel a bit left out. So I just thought I'd jump on the old bandwagon. I don't think this is going to be a hugely long video, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. Moving on now to my little bit of haul, and I've already showed you the Rick Rack and the felt, and I got those from a shop in Essex, in Tiptree actually, where the jam factory is, and it's called the Cheap Shop, and it is an absolute goldmine of crafty stuff and just wonderfulness. So, and this was really inexpensive. It was £5.99 for this big bundle, 10 squares of all the lovely greens there, so I thought they would come in super handy for finishes. I also received my May hand-dyed linen club from Vicky, and I'm going to, sorry for the crinkling, I'm going to take this out of the package so I can show you this. It's been patiently waiting for me to Flosstube so I could show you. And May's colourway is Vanilla Bean. Beautiful. And I get a 36 count fat quarter monthly on that one. Then I've got a couple of charts to show you. I did get the Patriotic Quaker from Peakside Needleworks, and I also ordered a couple of other charts that I'd had my eye on. There's no correlation between any of these things. They're just things that I liked that I didn't have, that I thought I would treat myself to. The first is by Annie B's, and it's the Spring Green Pears. Let's take that out there. You've seen this before. You've seen it around on Flosstube and on Instagram. And these pears are so beautiful. They reminds me of Wedgwood. I think it's called Jasperware, the Wedgwood ware. It's a white sort of relief on a coloured background, and it's just that shade of green, the green Jasperware. I think Mum may have had some years ago. Anyway, I'm getting distracted, but these are so pretty, and I've had a bit of an idea. I think I might do 3 different colours. I might do a green, a pink and a blue, and then finish them off with some, with some coordinating fabrics from my stash. And again, the felt is ready. I really did myself a favour when I picked this up, because there's actually quite a few projects that I'm going to need some nice green felts for. So I got that one, and you only need one colour of floss for that. I think she calls for Dinky dyes in ecru, but a nice DMC or an over-dyed neutral would work perfectly for that. The next thing that I got was, I'm just going to take the chenille trim out of the packaging. The Pennsylvania Christmas 2 from Shakespeare's Peddler, and I just love that striking contrast between the red linen and the floss. The floss is DMC ecru, and the fabric, I'm just reading the back, is Aztec Red by Weeks Dye Works. Now I do have some Aztec Red in my bag here for the tomato, but this is a 32 count, so they may come up a little bit too big, and I don't really want to stitch over two strands of floss ideally. But if there's enough left, it seemed a shame to go and buy more when I've got the exact called for here, but just a higher count, so we'll see. So those will definitely be in my lineup for Christmas this year. And I don't know if you can notice, The chenille trim used is olive, and they had that in stock, so I picked that up as well so that I'm all good to go. So if I do use that piece of 32 count Aztec red, I've got everything in stash to make these. So that's been a bit clever, isn't it? Well, I hope so. Next up, another real live, it's a real live needle workshop, which I have never been in because we just don't have that many over here. And the shop in question is Northgate Needlecraft, which is in Great Yarmouth in Norfolk. A lovely lady called Susan runs the shop, and I called in there on my travels and it was a delight. I was a little bit overwhelmed. I wish I'd had a list of some things that I needed, some flosses maybe that I needed or whatever, but I didn't. So I just had a little browse, bought something that I can't share with you just yet, but did treat myself to one of the newer Blackbird Designs books that I love more strong because of this sampler on the front, which I really, really love. But I was in there for quite a while and we put the world to rights. I was chatting away with Susan and she was just the loveliest lady. So if you are anywhere near that area of the country, do pop in and see her. She's got some lovely hand-dyed linens, she's got flosses, she's got silk, she's got charts, she's got all the things. And it was just really lovely to be in a real live needle workshop. I think that brings me to the end of my stitching. I'm going to have to pause because I want to go and grab the giveaway prize from the last video and also a giveaway prize for today, and then I'm going to tell you about some of the quilting that I've been working on. So I will be back in a moment. Right, gathered all the bits for the next section, which as I said, I'll start off with the giveaway winner from last video, and also I have a small giveaway for this video. So last time I shared with you some wonderful quilt patterns, quite a big bundle of quilt patterns, kindly given or sent to me by Fat Quarter Shop. And that reminds me, I've got some Fat Quarter Shop things, new things to share with you, so I'll go and grab those in a second as well. And this lovely quilted pouch that was kindly sent to me by oh goodness me, it's on here, Little Jamie, and that was the prize for last time's giveaway, and the keyword for that was quilt. And the winner of this prize is Catherine Baker Gago, or Jago, Gago 5942, and I'll pop this up on the screen now so you can see if you're the winner. And Catherine, congratulations and thank you to everybody who entered for the giveaway. Now today's giveaway, and it's no surprise, it's a patriotic themed giveaway. Now this is obviously quite American, well it is American sort of patriotic designs, but feel free, be like me, if you love it, stitch it, doesn't matter. If you want to stitch it, go for it. So I've got two charts from Fat Quarter Shop, the Patriotic typeface, which I love, particularly this one, the little Uncle Sam, I think is super cute. Well, and Lady Liberty, I think they're all lovely, and the Star Spangled Ornaments as well. So those two charts are the giveaway for today, and please use the keyword flag in your comment below. Now, as always, giveaway rules are as pretty much everybody uses. You need to be 18 because this is a physical item that I'll need to send to you. You can be anywhere in the world. Please like and subscribe this video and leave your comment with the word flag, and we'll announce that next time round. So I need to pause again, don't I, so that I can go and grab those things from Fat Quarter Shop. I'll be but a moment. So Fat Quarter Shop have sent this month for us to look at, and these will feature in future giveaways. I have two iterations of the new scarecrow design from Lori Holt. So there's the cross stitch chart of the quilted scarecrow, which is so cute. It's quite a big design. It's 165 by 175 stitches, but really, really cute. And you can see him closer there on the back. And of course, the Quilted Scarecrow is a quilt as well. And this would be such a stunning quilt to make. So those are new at Fat Quarter Shop. Put those down there. Also staying with Lori Holt, a little bit out of season like my Harrietta, but we have got a stitch card set tee with all the spring lovelies on, the bunny, the basket, the flower and the carrots. So that's stitch card set tee. Then we have, this one was, no, it's not a Stitch Quarterly. This is Lacy Daisy. And this is a very versatile chart. They give you some options of different colourways on the back. But as I'm thinking red, white and blue, everything at the moment, I thought you could really easily make this a red, white and blue design and it would look really, really stunning. So that's another new chart from It's So Emma. Following on from the ornaments series, we have springtime ornaments. Again, a little bit out of season, but ideal for getting prepared and ready for next year with all those lovely spring designs that go in the tart tins. Then we have, how many have I got of these? There are 3 of these. This is the monthly jar series, which is called Shelf Life. So we have February's Hearts in a Jar, which is number 2. March's Bird in a Jar, with the little eggs in the nest. And April's Rainy Day in a Jar, which is the umbrella and the Wellington boot. Really cute designs and much more manageable. These are 42 by 56, finishing at 3 by 4 inches on a 28 count fabric. So really manageable and really, really sweet. And finally, this was the one that was a Stitch Quarterly. This is Wintertime, which is the polar bear with the sheep and the penguin on his back. Really cute, and I love that Ada, I think it is. Yeah, it's a minty green opalescent Ada that they've stitched that on. Really, really pretty and quite sort of vintagey looking. So thank you Fat Quarter Shop for sending those beautiful charts and patterns through. Now I promised you some quilting, didn't I? And I have here some quilting whips and some quilting plans. First of all, I need to bring you up to date with the sew along that I'm doing with Fat Quarter Shop again, which is the Millie's Dresses quilt designed by Lori Holt using the Mercantile range of fabrics. And I have completed all the dresses now. So you might want to fast forward. If you don't want to see all the dresses, fast forward. But I'm going to show you the dresses and I need to get cracking and get this section all joined together with the sashing that goes in between. So we have that one. Apologies for the light coming through. The blue is such a nice range of fabrics. This red I think is one of my favourites. Don't look too closely at my piecing. It's okay. The blue and pink. This lovely tealy blue one. I did do a short video when I was chain piecing some of this with the intention of taking you all the way through how I sewed these dresses together, but then I got carried away and didn't finish it. So I may still pop it up on YouTube just so you can see my quilty setup and that. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. This lovely sort of ochre yellow one. This is a stunner, the blue with the red collar and belt. And all these fabrics in the dresses will then feature in the border going around, which I think is really nice and ties it all together. And if you're a novice quilter like me, the way that Lori shows on her videos and in her books to do the triangles, the triangle shapes, is really, really straightforward to do. Another one there. I think there are 16 dresses in total. We're almost there. Aren't these fabrics they're just so vintage looking? And I think once they're all sewn together, it's going to make a really pretty quilt. Pinky one. Oh, last but one, another blue. And finally, the green and blue. So that's my progress on Millie's dresses. Move that board out of the way. And of course that gave me a quilty bug. The quilty bug crept into my ear in the night and properly got me. It made me dig out a quilt that I'd been stitching on or sewing on quite a while ago, and it's a free quilt chart pattern from Jedi Craft Girl Amanda Naderhauser. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, and it's called Peppermint Forest. This shows you just the table runner version. What I'm actually making is the quilt version, which will just show you the layout there. So it's the peppermint blocks and the tree blocks alternated. And I'm about this far away from having all the blocks done. I'll show you what I've got so far. I've got 2 rows completely done. So I'll disappear while I show you this, and hopefully you can see some peppermint blocks and tree blocks. So it's not a huge quilt, but can you see that okay? It's not a huge quilt, but I think it'll be really, really pretty for Christmas. And I've been, I'm covered in those little tiny threads now. Pop that down. And I've just been working on some more of the peppermint blocks. And I use the triangles on a roll from Fat Quarter Shop to do my half square triangles, and I love them. In fact, I did have a go at making half square triangles without, and it was painful for me. It was really painful, but I found that by using these I got some really good results. And I've pressed everything open on the back because it's quite a lot of bulk, especially in that centre seam. So as I said, I'm really close to having all the blocks done, and then I can get it joined. And I've got this lovely fabric from, I don't know what line this is, for the binding, that lovely green. So that's something that I'm really keen to get finished. And then quilty plans, we're back to the flags, we're back to the red, white and blue. Now when I started my job that I'm doing now, it was 3 years ago, it was May 3 years ago. And when I got that job, I treated myself to some fabric. I thought I deserved it, I'd got my new job and I needed some fabric. So I bought this lovely scrumptious, I think it's called Notting Hill. It's a Riley Blake collection. And just to show you, so essentially what I've got, I'm waffling on, what I've got is this. I bought myself this whole quilt kit to make from Amy Smart, Diary of a Quilter, the Regent Street Union Jacks. And mine will be as it is on the cover here. This is the what they call the throw size with the floral border, and all those Union Jacks in all these amazing fabrics. So let me just show you a couple of these in a little bit more detail because they are scrummy. There's this one which will be the background with the little tiny flags and the dotty background. That's not so interesting. This is just scrumptious. This is the for the large border. I just love those sort of big blousey roses. I don't know if this fabric's still available. Yeah, it's Notting Hill and it's a Riley Blake fabric. But I heard somebody say once, I guess it goes for all these things, doesn't it? But particularly with fabric, they do runs of fabric and then it goes, it's just retired. And if you really love it, even if it's like this and it sits in your stash for 3 years, get it, because you just regret it, don't you, if you don't get it. This lovely blue, and this is what I got for the backing, and this is just amazing. All those London scenes, but it's a dark pink on a pale pink. for the backing, and I think this is just going to make such an amazing quilt. But I cannot start this quilt until I mean, Millie's dresses I'm doing as a sew along, so that's fine. I'm going to keep the schedule on that. But Peppermint Forest needs to be done before I can start making this. But the urge to start making these Union Jack blocks is just overwhelming. So I thought, well, if I'm having a Union Jack quilt, then I need something to balance it out. It needs to have a friend. So, and it looks like it's going to end up with two friends. So you may remember this book from Susan Ockie, published by It's So Emma, Summer Memories. And it's the one I was showing you a couple of cross-stitch designs from earlier. The cross-stitch designs actually all handily, they're on the back. So those are beautiful enough as is, but the quilts in this book are just mouth-watering. So the one that has got me hook, line and sinker is this one, the Flag Day quilt, and I absolutely am obsessed with it. So I went through my stash and found some fabrics. Oh, I've also got the template here to make those tumbler shape blocks, which I think is going to make my life a lot easier. Now I've got a pile of fabrics here, and is that yummy or is that not yummy? I wanted this to get this kind of washed out, beachy, sun faded look to the quilt. So I've gone for more sort of pinky reds and blues, and obviously some whites. There's sort of white on white and some little background designs as well. Some of these fabrics is a real mix and match. I won't go through them all, but I'll show you some of them. This one, I'm not quite sure where this will sit. Some of these are Liberty. This has got quite a lot of red and blue in it, so I suppose depending on a bit of fussy cutting I can make it lean one way or the other. But I've got some lovely reds and pinks here, and some of these have been in stash for quite a while. Some of them are Lori Holt. I think this one's from Cookbook. You can see they're sort of pinky reds, they're not red reds. That one, the little floral one, I think together that's a Liberty. I think that one's a Liberty as well. I think they'll work really well together. Then for my white section, again, I've got some, I think that will, it's such a low volume, I think it will read well enough. Lori Holt background with the stars. That's another Lori Holt. The Lori Holt, it's like a grey cross. The blue stars on white. And then these, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, these are a couple of Liberty. You can just about see they are like a white on white. So those are my whites. And then for my blues, this one, this is another Liberty. I think this is a Liberty as well. These were from the shop in Tiptree. Another Liberty, and this, oh, another Liberty there, and finally the stripe. But I think together they will work really well. So that's the plan for that one. And then I thought, I've seen a really nice flag quilt in one of the Lori Holt books, and indeed I had. And it is from Scrappiness is Happiness, this one here. And this is the Patchwork Star block, is the block, but it's been made into this flag quilt here. So a very similar vibe to the one in Summer Memories, but much bolder, stronger colours. And Lori does this block as a tutorial on her Sew Your Scraps, or I can't remember. I'll see if I can find a link to it. But it's a really easy block to do, says she, who hasn't done this block yet. But Lori makes it look easy, of course she does. But I think I can do it. So much bolder reds and blues. So off I went to my stash. So far all I've got is some blues and some reds. These are much bolder, more saturated colour. and I did have a little look on So Hot UK, and I've got some more reds and blues, and I think some white backgrounds, some more of these starry ones, because I think these are just perfect for the backgrounds. So that is my little quilting segment, so I hope you enjoyed that too. I feel like I've probably been talking to you for long enough now, and I'm sure you've got lots of things you want to do today, so I'm going to say goodbye. But once again, a huge thank you for being there for me and for making me feel like I really wanted to come back and share with you today. And I will be back again when time and schedule allows, but until then, thank you and bye.